the shot, and then you ask away whatever you want to ask, and cool. I will do my best to dance around and answer your question.
You ready?
Yeah, go.
All right. Hey gang, it's Dr. Brian McCarley from Genesis Family Chiropractic with Doc About Town, a special issue here on site at thefeedingteam.org. I'm here with Mark Hall, and Mark, you and your wife Lisa started this feedingteam.org movement here in Hamilton County, right?
We did.
I want to know how this got started and what was your impetus to get this whole thing started?
Well, back in the early married days, Lisa and I were young marrieds, and 86 and 87, two small children at home. We were the face of hunger in Hamilton County. There were many evenings where we got paid on Friday, and it's Thursday night, we're figuring what are we going to do for a meal for our children before we get paid on Friday. So back then it was Kroger Cost Cutter, which was these yellow god-awful cans of beef stew and a baked potato, and that was supper. Well, we're average, ordinary folks, so if we were in that spot, we figured there was a lot of other people in that same spot, Brian. We went and looked at the data, and it just exploded. 27,000 people before COVID food challenged in Hamilton County. Today's estimates are about 50,000.
Wow, that's amazing to me. And so you guys started doing this, you started with one pantry, right?
We did.
Where was that original pantry?
So we took almost 100 no's. We plotted the data. We thought, okay, we've got this data-driven approach. People will respect the fact that we were using the American Community Surveys data. And we would go and knock on doors and say, can we put a pantry out here at your location? Almost 100 no's. We don't have hungry people around here. We don't want to attract those kind of people around here. And then Scott Hazel and the Fraternal Order of Police, Union Hall 103 at Morris Beach was the first one that said yes. And then when they said yes, it was like just God opened up doors, and then yes and yes and yes and yes.
Yeah, the dominoes started to fall.
The dominoes started to fall.
How about that?
And now it's 26 pantries, 24 in Hamilton County, one in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have a corporal on base in Colorado Springs, Colorado, that wants to build 2 on base using the same model and the same. And we have a former Noblesvillian who moved to Clemson, South Carolina, and she wants to build 2 in Clemson, South Carolina. Okay. It's just taken a life of its own.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's take a look at one of the pantries here and then explain to us how this works. So when we talk about food pantries, most people think about places at churches or YMCAs, things like that. But this is a different model. Tell us about that.
We don't want to compete with food pantries. We don't want to compete with trustees. The idea here is it's 24/7, no questions asked, no forms to fill out. If you're hungry, I don't care if you drive up in a Mercedes-Benz. If you're hungry, you come get food. There is no reason for any neighbor to be hungry in Hamilton County ever. There are thousands of meals in the pantries as we stand here on Friday afternoon. So the idea here is that these are non-perishables. Now it's a take what you need, give what you can model. So we get well-intentioned people that will put steaks, meatballs, pasta, fresh pasta, pumpkin pies, and they'll put them in. We have to take them out. We just can't, you can't take a chance.
Sure.
We don't compete with the food pantries, we complement the food pantries. There are many places, churches, that have food pantries that want one of these outside because it's open when they're not. You know, how do I know I'm going to be hungry on the 3rd Thursday of the month from 5 to 7 when the pantry's open?
Absolutely.
Maybe I am if I plan for it, but I'm hungry on Sunday night. I don't have any place that I can go and get food. Well, this solves that problem. These are designed to address the gap families, those families that just make too much money in order to qualify for public assistance. Maybe they don't qualify for a trustee, they don't want to go to a church pantry. They can come here discreetly, 24/7, 365, and they can always find a way to feed them and feed their kids.
That's great. Boy, I think we talked a little bit about this, but it reminds me of the little lending libraries. You see little red lending libraries for books and things.
Yes.
Where it's take what you need, leave what you can.
Exactly.
I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
And it's what a great idea. Now you said you guys have your 26 pantries like this?
26 pantries, yes.
24 in Hamilton County, 2 in other locations. And you're thinking you're going to be up to what by the end of this year?
We'll be at 40. So the original pantries were built, I love telling this backstory, Brian. High school juniors and seniors at Ivy Tech. So these are high school kids from Hamilton Heights, from Noblesville, from Fishers, from Arcadia, that would come in the vocational training program for the Association of Building Contractors. So they would come in and they would build the pantries as projects.
Wow.
So they were instructed to build them. Then Gaylor Electric would come and pick them up, paint them. We would meet them to drop off the pantry. We'd put the signage on it and we would fill it up. Now, Emmy in Westfield has signed on as a corporate partner. They're building 18 pantries this year under their Emmy Serves program. They've already built 6. There's 12 more to go. So you'll see these were built. You can see the signatures.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are Emmy employees that signed this, and they're personally vested in what's happening here. So Indiana Mills Manufacturing in Westfield, their Emmy Service program allows them time where they're paid to go and do charity work just like this. So that's kudos to John Tice and Mark Campbell and all those folks that work with them.
Sure.
There's 12 more to go. So we have those 12, and we have two, I'm really proud of this one, 2 Eagle Scout candidates that are building 2 pantries each, one in Carmel and one in Fishers. They're doing it all on their own. They're raising their money, they're finding locations, they're doing the whole project themselves. So if you put those together with the 24 we have, we'll be at 40 by the end of the year.
How about that? Did you ever imagine that this would take on such
Oh
a
my
life
goodness,
of its
no.
own?
Oh my goodness, no. We thought it was going to be 6. It'll be 6 pantries, and it'll be our employees, because this is our corporate charity. So
Okay.
Talent Logistics is our business.
Okay.
We put about 2% of all of our sales go into buying food, or buying the wood, or buying the materials to go and do it, or pay
Sure.
for the box truck. So we thought 6. Our employees will drive the box truck. We'll go load. We'll have a nice little local charity. And I shared this with you before. God is just laughing. We're sitting here at we're sitting here at 26, and I just shake my head. It took a life of its own.
Sure.
People have gotten behind it. The beauty of this is it's so easy. How many people can go to their cupboard and grab a can of Clover Valley chili beans and come and put it in a pantry? It's
Sure.
easy to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
We didn't put that together early on. The other thing that really speaks to Lisa's and my heart, the teaching of generational giving to kids. I can't tell you how many times we've seen parents teach a child how important it is to give. And you'll see a parent and a child come up, they'll pull up to a pantry, and the child will be the one that comes up and puts the gift inside the pantry. And then you see that look where they look up at that look of approval from mom or from dad.
Sure.
Because they're teaching them the importance of taking care of a neighbor. It's not about video games, it's not about
Right.
competition, it's about doing something right for a neighbor.
Right.
And that is something that's been one of the most special memories for Lisa and I as we watch kids get involved with their parents.
That's fantastic. Well, you guys, and you're putting together a big event. I'm going to switch gears on
We
you a
are.
little bit here. You're putting together a big event, and you said it's September the 26th. Is that
26th.
right?
This will be our
It's coming
second one.
up. So if Michelle's going to shift around here, we're going to see the box truck that's behind us over here. But you guys have bought a big trailer too,
We did,
right?
yes.
And the purpose of the event is to raise funds and to stock the trailer, stock the pantry.
Bring canned goods.
To bring canned goods,
yes.
right?
Or
So-
mac and cheese, or
Yeah.
ramen, but yes.
So tell us a little more about that, because you were pretty excited about this.
So
Tell us
we've
about
got
what
a-
you're
we've got
doing. It's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool. Last year, the FOP, our very first pantry host, allowed us to do this at their location. We had 3 bands. We raised $3,000. We did a silent auction. We had a beer tent, a wine tent, and we had bands that played. And in COVID, in the middle of COVID, we had 300 people show up. We raised 3,000 canned good items and $3,000.
Wow.
This year, we decided we're going to make it bigger and better. So what we've done is we've worked with the city and the county folks, and we've got Federal Hill Commons. We have 5 bands lined up. We'll start playing in the afternoon about 1 o'clock. Food trucks, merch tents, sponsorships, beer. We are playing the beer garden and the wine garden all over again. And we're not charging admission. Just bring some canned goods, bring some non-perishables. We think that with the thousands of people that'll come for an outdoor event like this, we'll get 5 to maybe 7,000 items, which will help us stock the pantries all around Hamilton County for the winter.
That's fantastic. That's
And it
awesome.
should be fun too.
Well, yeah, it's with all the music and the beer tent and the merch and all that stuff. It's going to be a good time.
Should be fun.
That'll be great. So mark your calendar. September 26th. It'll definitely be at Federal Hill Commons. Do you have a name for the event? What are you calling it?
Feeding Team Food and Fundraising Festival.
Well,
And
that's
it has
a
its own
mouthful.
little logo, and we'll have T-shirts. We had I got stuffed at the Feeding Team Festival T-shirts last year. We're going to do that again this
That's
year.
fantastic. That's
It's
fantastic.
cute.
So mark your calendars. Join us. If you got a few extra canned goods laying around, or if you pick something up extra at the store next time you shop for groceries, stop by and drop it off at one of these food pantries that are around the county. Help out a neighbor in that way. Mark,
Or if you're hungry.
Or if you're hungry.
If you're
That's
hungry.
right.
If you find yourself challenged.
That's right.
Feedingteam.org. You can find all the locations. No questions
Perfect.
asked, 24/7. If you're hungry, if you need a meal, they are always available to anybody that needs them. It's a no questions asked, very discreet model.
That's perfect. Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for all
Thank
you're
you for
doing.
your
Thanks
time.
for taking the time.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
much.
it.
Thanks.
Have a great day, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Thanks.